My sweet Liz, hi. Hello and welcome to episode 22 of the Ascent. I am your host, Steve Campbell. I am here at Melissa's sister Allie's house, just house sitting and pup sitting for the weekend. So I'm sitting here trying to get some work done, and I hear some rustling going on in the other room, and I sense funny business. Oh, everyone's behaving now. That's great. Behaving? Yeah, you? What about you two? You behaving? Well, alright then. Hey. And so yeah, it's beautiful out, and so I figured why not get some videos made. First and foremost, have a happy announcement. The Ascent blog hit 30,000 followers on Medium. Super excited about that. We put a lot of work in. You know, we got a lot of talented writers, and they're producing a lot of great content every day, and so it's just nice to see the number go up. It's not something we put a ton of stock in, but it's something that is just sort of a measure of like the effort that we're putting in. And so yeah, that was nice. I just wanted to document that little announcement. One thing that's really been on my mind a lot recently is when you're thinking about a business that you're creating, deciding who your customer is. If you were to ask me a few months ago who the Ascent's customer was, I would tell you it's everybody. I think when you're starting a business, it's really important to sort of map out who you think your audience is. And if it's more than one group of people, great. But think about your business in terms of what is that niche market that you're serving, and who is that niche audience that you're serving for? Actually, what sparked this was I listened to a podcast with Tim Ferriss and Seth Godin, and Seth Godin said something really interesting, like he often does, which really was, you know, Nike didn't invent the running niche. Like, they just developed a product to serve a niche that already existed in runners. And so that's something that's really simple and not all that mind-blowing, but I think it really got me thinking about, okay, the Ascent's audience can't be everybody. It really forces you to come to grips with the direction that you should be taking and the steps that you need to take in order to get out to who you really need to be reaching. And so I had a lovely conversation with Melissa, my life/business partner in this, and we arrived at a very actionable direction in which to take the Ascent. And so it's something that we're still working through the plans of, but just to share with you what's on our mind, essentially we're really just thinking about it in terms of where are we right now, what are we, and what are we communicating, and then where do we want to be. And so I think you know, something that I learned a long time ago from Gary was you can figure out how to get anywhere if you just figure out where the finish line is and then reverse engineer how to get there. And so your finish line might change or move over time, but if you have a big lofty goal like his was buying the Jets, then you have to move the chess pieces and do all the little things over this period of time in order to get there. And so our idea with the Ascent, and something that Melissa and I have talked about from the very beginning, is the idea of social good. You know, we want to get to a place where once we've made enough money and we've made it, we want to give back and we want to help people. And so our overall goal is leaving the world better off than we found it. And I think that's a very lofty goal in itself, and a lot of people have a goal like that, and they create nonprofits and charities and things of that nature. And so we don't really know where the Ascent fits into that quite yet, but we do know that, and we have known from the beginning, that we do want there to be an arm of the Ascent that is involved heavily in philanthropy. And so using that as our guiding compass, what do we have to do to get the Ascent from where it is today, a community of documenters and people documenting their journeys, to a philanthropic organization or foundation? So the conversation that Melissa and I had was really productive because we had that North Star to really think about, and then it was just really around what are the steps that we have to take in order to bridge the gap in between where we are now and where we're going. Which is ironic if you think about it, because the three questions I always talk about in this are, where did I come from, where am I now, and where am I going? And so yeah, it's really just figuring out like what is the in-between and how do we get there. And so all these other things that I want to do and want to make money on and and the things that I'm good at and can speak to, personal branding and things like that, I've come to grips with the fact that maybe that's not really in the vision for the Ascent. Maybe that's just something that's in the vision for Steve Campbell, and that those are things that I can offer on the side as little side hustles. And so yeah, I'm happy. This is why we document this thing, because I like getting my thoughts out there. I like updating you on what I'm up to. So yeah, there's not much more to it than that. So it's time to get to work.